What's up, guys? Studfit here. I'm joined by my good friends from the Mario Kart Tour community. So excited for another episode of Kart Talk. We have some familiar faces. Thank you, FrenzyFans, for joining us. KnightRoso, you're at second episode. Welcome.
Hi.
And we have some new faces. We have Herooftheskies, who is a sponsored guest through Kareem. So welcome, Hero.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Really excited for Kart Talk, and huge shout out to Kareem for allowing me to come here. So yeah, I can't wait.
Excited. Yeah, we have some good stuff to talk about. And then gonna have a little different episode this time. I brought on two ends of the spectrum when it comes to experts at their craft. We have Phillish calling in from Germany, all the way from his expertise of multiplayer and time trial. And then we have a very common name that we see on our All Cup ranking spreadsheets, a GamerAmy. Thanks for joining us both.
Hello.
Yeah, you're going to hear all about them, as well as a number of good topics about multiplayer, about All Cup ranking, and some fun stuff all in between. But figured we each introduce at least Hero, Phillish, and Amy. Hear just a little bit about how you got started in the game and where you're calling from. So Hero, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so I'm from Los Angeles, and I wasn't a day one player. I had no idea about Mario Kart Tour at all until I think one of my friends was playing this Mario Kart in the phone. I was like, wait, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's Mario Kart Tour. And I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. So yeah, I pretty much have opened the game, I think during, Vancouver tour. So
Wow.
yeah, that's what I was. I think I was a free to play at that time, and slowly but surely I was becoming a gold pass member. And then the moment the level 7 controversy came, I had to become a whale. So and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool, man. Well, we're excited to hear a little bit more from LA and it's your experience as well. It's interesting to hear that you came in 3-4 months later into the game. Phillish, welcome. If you can just tell people a little bit about how you found out about the game to begin with, and I think I already spilled the beans on where you're calling from.
Yeah. I actually started half a year after release, roundabout, for a pretty similar reason as Hero, I believe. Where one day a friend showed me the game, and I got hooked. I bought a gold pass early on for the first half year, I believe, after I started playing, and eventually I started time trialing and found out about all the competitive stuff, and at that point I canceled my gold pass pretty much immediately, and I am free to play, kind of.
Yeah, so I know you're good friends with Kevin Garrett and bring a unique perspective. I thought that would be really helpful to have. In addition to the other end of the spectrum, Amy, you're free to play too, right?
Yeah.
GamerAmy is one of the most respected players in the game. How many How many top 10 badges do you have? I know you have a pretty good active count.
I have all of them before, and 2 of them are because I had COVID. So
Oh,
2, yeah, I missed 2 because I had COVID and really couldn't play. But yeah, I started like on the second tour, the second week. I knew it was coming out before it came out, but I was like, well, I don't really like racing games. But the way this game is and all the other stuff that come with it, besides just the racing, you know, the collecting and I mean, all of that is what made me want to play the game. And I think I was gold pass from the beginning and spending money probably after the second tour. I mean, it's been very addicting.
it can be very, very addicting. And then you're calling from Texas.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Houston,
Texas. Houston, Texas. Well, excited to get into a little bit more about Alt upbringing at the end, and then with Phillish a little bit more about some of the multiplayer. But figured we kick it off with a little icebreaker, kind of tying a little bit to what you just mentioned, GamerAmy, which is like when we started and won some of your first high end. So I had Hydra on and his app on a video earlier this week. So I know that it's been a hot topic, which has been, you know, some of our first items, our first 12 items kind of shown there in his app. So I thought we'd reminisce for a little bit, especially it's good to do at the end of the year. But what was the most memorable or unique first 12 high-end items, any of those items that were on that list, but the most memorable to you or the most unique to you that you received in the game? We'll start with you, KnightRoso. How about that?
Okay, so I started at the very, very beginning, first tour New York tour, and I started sitting at breweries from the very beginning. And in that first year, I was super lucky with my polls. In London tour, I got Peacification. Was it London? No, Paris. Paris tour, I got Peacification on my second 10 pull. In London, on my second pull, I got Holidaysy and the Glitter Glider.
Wow.
And then I got Waluigi Bus Driver on my third. And then during the holiday tour, within 4 10 pulls on the Party Time pipe, I got Pauline Party Time plus Mario Santa and the Ribbon Rider to complete that AC holiday tier set. So yeah, really lucky. And my favorite was Pauline Party Time. She's still my favorite driver in the game, just because I've had her for nearly 2 years now.
Wow.
So
what
yeah,
level and what caps do you have her at? Curious.
I took her to 3 right away, and she stayed there until like 6-7 months ago. Then I took her to 6 double caps.
Wow, double capped. All right, there you go. When was the last time you used her since? Curious.
It's honestly been a while. She's not that good, but she's my favorite, so I don't mind putting tickets on her.
Yeah, man, I can't blame you on that. FrenzyFans, what were your first 12? What was the most memorable first 12 tie-ins you had?
You know, when you first start playing, I feel like when you first start playing, you have like the best luck in the world, but you're oblivious to it because you don't even know what it is. So it was like my first pipe, or not, maybe not my first pipe, but like the first week I started playing on when Builder Toad was released. So I got like Builder Mario, Builder Toad, and Vacation Peach all in like a couple pipes. And I was like, this is awesome. This is fun. But I had no idea. And so Vacation Peach has hands down been like my favorite player since the get-go. 1, because girl power, and 2, because I'm obsessed with vacationing and traveling. So I was like, it's meant to be.
Very nice.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome. And I had no idea even that coin box was cool back then. So
yeah. What about you, FrenzyFans guy?
Yeah, so I think my most memorable pull was I think it was, like the first tour or something, and I had gone in like 10 or 20, and they were just like green pipes, and I was just really wanting some high-end stuff. And so I gave my phone to Frenzy Fangirl. I was like, you pull it. Like,
this was before I was even playing the game. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, sweet.
I was like, I think you're gonna have luck. Better luck than what I'm getting. And when she pulled, she ended up getting Dry Bowser, which at the time I was like, oh my gosh, like I was jumping off of the couch. Yeah. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is crazy. This is the best day of my life. And so, yeah. And, like I still use him. He was my first level 7 high-end driver, to try and get out of the daily selects. And, he's come in handy every now and again,
And your
So-
first tour was the Easter tour, right? You had like some insane luck
Yeah.
on that pipe.
And so I ended up getting the Spotlight Trio, which was the Yoshi, like Easter egg Yoshi.
Egg hunt, yeah.
Egg hunt, thank you.
Yep.
With that cart and that bright glider. And I was just like, oh,
I think it was like a triple 10 pole, and you're just like,
I guess
Whoa.
everybody gets this. That's cool. Whatever. What race am I gonna race now? And it wasn't until much later that I was like, oh, it's really hard to get like all of the brand new spotlights.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Kind of going around the same order. How about Hero? What was your most memorable first item?
You guys are talking about high ends, right?
Yeah, high ends on this question. Yeah.
So since I started in the Vancouver tour, I was really stupid at that time because I kept pulling singles, not 10 pulls. So yeah, I kept pulling, and all of a sudden, I think it was a fake green pipe, and I got the Luma Parafoil. Believe it or not.
Okay. Okay.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks really nice. And you know, at first I thought my first high-end driver was Pauline, but then no, it turns out it was a Luma Parafoil. So yeah, and then my second high-end was the Swooper. So both of them have been actually pretty good, especially with the Luma Parafoil. It's actually pretty an underrated glider because it's helping me on like, you know, some Rainbow Road tracks and like Frappe Snowland and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Phyllis, how about you, man? What was one of your first most memorable high ends in the game?
So I actually had to think about this, and I think it was the Crimson Train, which I pulled. I think it was my fourth high end, and I was extremely hyped about it for I don't know what reason. But I remember going online and showing everyone, hey, I got this glider, and I was really happy about it, and I still use it in MP all the time. So I'm
Yeah.
happy with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Nice.
Good, man. And Amy, there was like some like heavy traffic behind you or something, so I muted you. But I can't unmute you. I'd have to ask you to unmute. So let me know when you are able to get there. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Is it loud where I am?
It was at the moment, but you sound much better. So love to hear some of your first items, most memorable items in the game.
Oh my gosh, that was so long ago. Probably, like I said, I think one of the first high-ends was probably Mario Hakama. And like I said, back then, I didn't really like do the ACR. I didn't even really know about the ACR. So like, I didn't think anything special, but yeah, the Mario Hakama was probably my first. And obviously I like that because it's it's a coin box, but my favorite driver, yeah, is Party Time Pauline, just because the way she looks.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She does look like she's having a good time. That is for sure. And by the way, Amy, I'm curious. You mentioned All Cup ranking. Were you already doing All Cup ranking before there was a badge for it?
Yes. Yeah. I started. I got into the top 10 probably the fourth tour, and pretty much have been top 10 since the fourth tour started.
Wow! Before there were badges.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. We got some good questions for you coming up here. So for at least here, people on this podcast all opened up our apps today and potentially might have seen on Twitter the announcement of potentially a Bowser, maybe even a Bowser Fury type of tour. Who knows? I want to hope it's like a Bowser Fury, but it might just be like another Bowser Castle. But it looks pretty interesting, which I thought might be good for us to tie in a question from John Boy. Before we get into the question from John Boy, I was talking with Angelita, and she was sad she wasn't able to join us. Her and John Boy, just based on their schedules, are not able to. However, she made a special request. Today is John Boy's birthday, so we thought we might just do a quick little ensemble of happy birthday to wish our good friend John Boy happy birthday. So, happy birthday
To you.
Happy
birthday
to
you.
Happy
birthday,
dear
dear
John Boy.
Boy.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday, John
This
Boy.
was wonderful.
That was a
Wonderful.
thing.
There you go. It wasn't beautiful.
Totally
Wouldn't
no
happy
delay
birthday.
on that one.
All right. All right, we broke the ice there. So in the last rundown, he speculated there could be like a new Donk City tour with all these Donkey Kong items. He thought it'd be cool to have a New Year's celebration along with a new Kong alt. So he kind of started thinking, if Nintendo started representing other series of Mario Kart Tour with other Nintendo franchise games, what would you like to see represented? So my thought process is like, we've seen Mario crossovers like Cat Peach, Cat Toad come over from Mario 3DS World. We've seen Builder Mario, Builder Luigi come from Mario Makers. What Nintendo crossover would you like to see? And then what would you envision like the new items and tracks be if they were to do a crossover?
Something I thought they were really going to do was the Mario Golf Super Rush.
Yeah.
Because, they hyped up that game a lot, and it is really good. I have it. And some of the characters have really awesome costumes. Like Rosalina has a really awesome dress. Waluigi has like that striped suit. Can't remember the others off the top of my head, but there are some really cool ones. And then like maybe like a golf cart for the cart.
I like
and
that.
something like that. Some sort of golf themed glider. I would love that. Also, maybe like a Luigi's Mansion, remix Luigi's Mansion and like Gooigi. And then maybe like a Mario 64 tie-in too.
Very cool. Yeah, great idea. Others?
I think they could do Zelda and Link. That would be pretty cool to have as characters. And then, because I think they have a Zelda Mario racing track, don't they, on one of the games?
ICEBREAKER.
Bring that. That would be really cool, where you get the rupees instead of rubies or whatever, coins instead of coins, rupees. Just like that would be really fun if they did that. And a new skill would be like to throw a sword at you or something. I don't know, something different.
Ooh.
A brand new skill.
Yeah, actually, doesn't he have a boomerang in one of them or something? So maybe
Yeah.
it could even be a good boomerang. Yeah, I remember. Wasn't Link?
Oh yeah.
So that's actually what John Boy talks about with the Hyrule tour and potentially having those items. So I think that's a great idea. And we've seen Link in the Mario Kart. I think it was the 8th. So yeah, it's certainly within the realm of possibility. I love that suggestion, Amy. I think that's great. Others?
I'd be down for like, have you guys ever played the Super Mario Strikers game? It's the soccer version.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with soccer. I grew up playing soccer.
Hell
And
yeah.
there's this character, I think they called her Daisy Wakia. I could be pronouncing it incorrectly, but I pulled up an image. She would be like my dream player.
Whoa,
Oh, that'd be
Nice.
awesome.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Really cool.
Insane game.
Anyways,
Really good. Yeah,
highly recommend that game. It's fun.
it is.
Is it on the Wii?
I played this too. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I played that my entire childhood. I played it on and it's really, really good.
Was Daisy your character too?
Ooh, Nah. I played Waluigi, but
All right.
I think they were pretty similar in still. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, did FrenzyFans gal, did she steal your answer though? Is that what you were gonna say? Or did you have another game idea?
I don't, but I'm interested in items. So we could have the feather, for example, which would be interesting, or the boo item.
Ooh,
the
yeah.
problem with these would be the frenzies. So as one item, I think it would be really great. But in frenzies, it's unclear. So I don't think they will ever happen, which is sad. But you know, you can't have everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds like a great idea though. You know, actually, I know GamerAmy, you already gave me an answer, but if I remember correctly from when I interviewed you, I think, was it Odyssey or Galaxy that was one of your favorite Mario games from back in the day?
Both of them. But Odyssey, yeah, I've played that game like 8 or 9 times in a row. Got everything. It's just such a great game.
Yeah, I wonder if they could do like I know they've already done a space tour, but like a true Odyssey tour and bring in, like, I know they already have Lumas and all this other stuff, but yeah, that could be an option as well. Hero, did you have one in mind?
It's actually funny because this was back in like 7 months ago. I had this weird dream that we were in a volcano tour featuring Giga Bowser, and the track was Grumble Volcano from Mario Kart Wii, which is one of my favorite courses ever. So I was sadly that didn't age well, but hopefully it might happen. Hopefully it might happen. So maybe Bowser's Fury, who knows? We'll see.
I like it. Yeah, who knows? Do you guys have any other speculations for this this upcoming tour with Bowser and this castle?
Maybe Bowser wedding with Coinbox. Cross fingers.
Coinbox? I don't know.
Everybody loves Coinbox. Everybody loves Coinbox.
Yeah, I know, but we could have a triple green shells, which would be a first, for example. There are some other exciting opportunities, and I mean, the Coinbox is of course cool, but you know, it's one more. Like, who cares at this point?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I totally agree.
Yeah, I heard. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it, Amy.
No, I was just saying, I heard a lot of people are saying it probably will be a Coinbox because we haven't had one in a while. So I guess we'll see.
We are kind of doing one whether we like it or not, but yeah, we'll see. I will say the Bowser shell and like the Yoshi egg are like two of the more underrated skills, just because we don't get to use them very often. But the Bowser shell is like, it can actually be a really effective skill, kind of like the Yoshi egg, in that it can be really effective. We just don't have very many of them. I know, GamerAmy, I saw for months you really liked using the Yoshi reindeer, and you love the Yoshi's egg, and I know I'm sure FrenzyFans guy, you probably love the Bowser shell. Do you think you could see either one, like a Bowser shell or a variation of that for this Bowser Fury or whatever Bowser alt we get? Or do you think it's too close?
So I kind of have this this strange idea that came because everyone's been expecting the Donkey Kong alt, right, for this New Year's tour. I'm wondering if they don't introduce a new Bowser, but his skill is Giant Banana.
Just make a lot of people mad.
Because we only have
one.
We only have one high-end Giant Banana.
I wouldn't mind another one.
it's not like giant bananas like belong to like Kongs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like bananas themselves. You got Waluigi Bus Driver that has bananas. We got a Pit Crew Toad that has giant bananas. I mean,
Mario
it's
Sunshine.
like half the size of the banana. Like, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, something so so obvious. So I don't know. But going back to the original question, I did want to put in a little plug for one of my favorite games growing up on Nintendo was Metroid. So if they brought like Samus to the game and like some sick, you know, like spaceship type cart, and I don't know if she could have like 3 plasma balls in the place of like fireballs or ice flower or whatever, I think that'd be pretty sick. But you know, I don't know that they're really gonna, you know, do a whole lot of that stuff, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a huge crossover. I mean, as a kid, I loved crossovers, but like I realized in life that doesn't happen very often. That usually there's infringement rights and whatever. So like I always like wanted to see like the Ninja Turtles against the Power Rangers and like, you know, all these crazy crossovers. Never really came to fruition. But with Nintendo characters, they can do whatever they want. I'd kind of like to see like Captain Falcon come over. I mean, he's a racer technically, right? So that would be kind of cool. I did see so Marco, the guy who really is a huge help to the rundown, huge Kong fan, and that's one of the reasons he plays the game. He sent me this picture. He's such a Donkey Kong fan, but even then we know it's going to be kind of Bowser related. Has Bowser in a Donkey Kong suit?
Right.
Oh, okay.
I saw that. Oh my god.
They would do
Perfect.
So, I mean, at this point in time, we even after seeing Bowser's Castle, we're still trying to get that Kong out somehow, some way. Good. We have a question from KnightRoso. You want to ask it about nicknames?
Oh, yeah. So I'm wondering if you guys have any nicknames for certain drivers or even karts and gliders. Like a common one is Daisy Holiday Cheer, is just Holidaisy. And then some of the other ones, where's the question? There it is. We have Bounce for Kangaroo Yoshi, Hello Waluigi for Vampire Waluigi, and some other ones like that. So do you guys have any?
I have nicknames for all the characters because I can never remember their names, so I just make up new ones. So my favorite that stuck with me at least is Baby Blurry Donkey for whatever his name actually is.
Baby Blurry Donkey.
Okay, Junior.
Blurry Baby Donkey.
It's because I don't know what his name is, so I just describe the way that he
8-bit?
looks.
Because he's the 8-bit, and so he's not like super crisp, and he's kind of like a baby, and he's
That
a
makes sense.
Kong.
Because he's really small, so he's
But you take off the Kong, and it makes it sound like we're talking about a donkey.
Baby Blurry Donkey.
I did wonder what you were actually talking about there first.
Yeah.
You guys have any funny nicknames?
For me, obviously now that Santa Bowser has finally come back, I always call him Banta. So
Okay.
What was the other one that was going around for him too? Wasn't it
Koopa Claus.
I like Koopa Claus. I call him Koopa Claus a lot.
That's cool.
I think that was actually like one of the original like cartoons from back in the 80s. There was an episode that actually had Bowser titled, like his name was Koopa Claus. Nintendo missed the mark on that one.
Yeah.
So wing and a whiff.
Well, it could have been they could have done like a little Koopa Kringle, right? You know, and kind of work off that that variation. Yeah, I like it. Other nicknames, guys?
I don't really.
Oh,
You know them all, right? You memorized all the names. You have to make up your own variations.
I just use whatever everyone else is coming up with, and that's fine with me.
Yeah, as long as other people know what you're talking. Like Toilet Paper Mario was my was my one that I tried so hard to get the community. No, I didn't try that hard. He just looks like a pile of toilet paper. You know, I think about like tuxedo. You see like a normal tuxedo, but not just this toilet paper, literally rolled toilet paper on top of his head. But whatever.
To be honest, I just call him Mario Wedding because it makes sense.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
He should have been called that. Let's be real.
which by the way, Hollow Waluigi is so fun to say, but I love the fact that he's a vampire and not just Halloween, you know, because he's like that vampireness of him, and like even the vampire flyer. Like I love saying Batmobile, but I also equally love saying, you know, vampire flyer, because it's just such a, it's cool that he's like all vampire and they got the vampire wings and everything too.
Yeah, same with Mario Satellaview. I love saying Satellaview. I'm so happy they called him that.
Yeah, could you imagine if it was just a Mario space and be like, oh, boring.
I call him
like
Mario. And then this tour, Penguinette. I like putting the penguin and Toadette togetger, Penguinette, especially since in the county that we live in is Gwinnett County. And so it's really easy to like, oh, Penguinette.
There you go.
Nice. Did you want to toss any other ones out there, FrenzyFans gal? I know you said you have so many.
Oh man, I'd have to pull them up. Let's see. I just make up names as we go.
Have you ever seen those YouTube videos where like players that are into the game, they show their girlfriends that have like no clue about what the game is, like try and name the people, and they're like bath towel blonde babe or like random.
Builder Yoshi, or Builder Toad, I always call him Hammer Time Toad because it looks like he has a hammer. I don't know.
I like it. Okay. Yeah,
I always get Dry Gold Bones and Dry Gold Bowser mixed up. Like a couple of episodes ago, we were talking about, there was a question, and I think I was meaning to talk about Dry Gold Bowser, but said Dry Gold Bones. And for some reason, I always get
names.
Yeah, the GDB. It's I can get them, especially, you know, as you're trying to talk to people and you're just like, that thing is doing that thing, and you're just like, you just want to get through because you have like a thought process, and you're like, insert name of item here, and then it's the wrong item. It's funny. In like my videos, I always have comments being like, you're talking about this, right? And I feel so bad because I'm like, I hope like someone who actually doesn't know what I'm talking about, like I mislead them somehow. So
right.
Invest everything in Dry Gold Bowser.
Put all your tickets on Dry Gold. And everyone's like, okay, all right, doing it.
I mean,
why'd you do that?
Gold Bones. Shoot.
Well, let's stick with you guys for a second, FrenzyFans, because I know we talked a little bit about some superstitions with pipe pulls. So tell me a little bit. I know you guys kind of stole one of the routines of resetting before you pull. I know even GamerAmy, I think I've heard in the past you had some superstitions as well, but love to talk a little bit about some superstitions before you pull on a pipe. We've got them all, right? So we've seen resetting 4 times. We've seen Sammy D wear a gold hat and try to become one with the Mario verse. Or even Jeeves, he tries to get as close as possible to the plumbing in his house before his Prepper 10 pull. What other superstitions do you have around pulling on a pipe? And FrenzyFans, why don't you kick us off with explaining what this why the topic came up this past week?
Yeah, so we had a pipe pulling party and Jeeves was on, and he to like make a tribute to Go Shiny Hunter. He was like, you know, I grew up in Mario Kart watching Go Shiny Hunter, and before every pipe he would always reset 3 times. And so, you know, as Jeeves is resetting the 3 times, I was like, you know, I was kind of in that same like school of thought, you know, early in the game. My favorite number was 4. And so, you know, there were a couple of times where I would like reset the pipe 4 times. And just recently, I've kind of thought about it a little bit more. And I don't know that resetting the pipe actually, okay, because I guess the thing is like when you reset the 3 times, the thought process is that when you do the reset, that it kind of shuffles all the order of everything that's in the pipe, you know, 100 down to 1. And as you purchase it, like purchase the pipes, all it does is just take from that stack that's already been kind of like pre-allocated once the reset happens. And so if you reset it again, the idea is, you know, you get your high end that you want that was supposedly at the bottom of the pipe, and you're kind of shifting it like maybe towards the middle of the pipe, and you do it again, and then it gets to the top of the pipe. I'm kind of under the impression now, though, that with the reset button, due to the fact that it's so fast in the program, when you hit the reset button, all that's doing is just resetting the numerator of the pipe to equal to the denominator, and that's it. and that the RNG, or the random number generation engine, that actually does allocate the different items in a different order, that occurs once you actually make the purchase. Because when you do make a purchase, you see like the little spinning tachometer thing that kind of lets you know, like, hey, I'm thinking, I'm doing some calculations, hold on just a sec. But even like when you do a 10 pull, all 10 items at the point of purchase are already decided, because if your phone, like, the battery dies or it gets closed, whatever, you don't lose those items. Once you come back into the app, then it lets you know, well, looks like something wrong happened. Here's the things that you missed, but they're yours. So
after you talked about that, I was thinking about it. Really, there's kind of two analogies, right? There's the analogy of like a deck of cards at like a blackjack table card. Like all those are in a order, and you're just pulling from that order, versus like a lottery machine where they have all those balls spin around, and then just one random. So it's like two versions to think about it. There's an order is already pre-selected, and then there's always a random RNG whenever you pull that pipe. So yeah, we can talk about that as well, where you believe, that which of those two thought processes you believe in, but then too, also superstitions. I know GamerAmy, you said you've been having a lot of luck lately. I know you mentioned before you used to do some resetting, maybe perhaps too. Tell me a little bit about your luck recently, and is it any superstitions behind that?
Well, a while back, I had a friend that would tell me, like, if you use the free pull and it's a normal, a glider, driver, or cart, then reset all the way. But if you do a free pull and it's it's a super or a high end, go ahead and do a 10 pull or a couple 10 pulls. You're guaranteed to get the high ends that way. And I've done it and it works, but it could just be luck too. But lately, yeah, the past 3 tours, all I've been doing is just doing the first 10 pull, and I get the new items. So,
No need to-
it could be just random,
Maybe we'll never know. But other superstitions, maybe Phyllis, do you have a superstition when pulling on the pipes?
Yeah, not really. I oftentimes pull randomly. So of course I always pull on pipes I want items from, but so like for the first year I would always pull until I was out of rubies, and I think I had never over 100 rubies at a time, and so I just pulled whenever, and I recently saved 450 rubies for once, and I feel good about this. But I don't really I don't really change anything or have any move. I do before I pull.
Nothing before you pull. Okay.
No.
I have my Yoshi hat that has a big Yoshi egg. It's been proven fact that when you push the Yoshi egg, you get a gold pipe.
Wow.
I need to get that.
It's bound to happen. You might have to push it like 100 times before you get the gold pipe, but
100% of 25% of the time it works.
Are you selling that hat?
Amazon is.
You can. Might be too late to ask Santa, but if you can, maybe mail out a letter today with that on your lip.
Right.
Yeah, KnightRoso, any superstitions on your end?
If I'm doing just a YOLO, I've been doing a lot of those recently because there's good pipes. I don't want to go so deep. I just do it. But if I'm doing a deep dive into a pipe, I got inspired by probably like on this gold cap, I have like a hat. It's like a big block of cheese, and so I wear that, and then
You wear cheese on your head.
yes,
Yes.
and then
Okay.
well,
Like
it's
Green Bay.
it's foam. It's not real cheese, of course.
Oh, okay. All right. It's important detail. All right.
Oh, and then I go through the pipe and I really get into the logistics of it. I'm like, okay, so my first, these are the things I want. Here are the odds of me getting it on my first 10 pull. And then I just go through my head, okay, when am I going to stop? When am I going to reset if I am? And I just make a whole set of rules for myself. And then I pull, and I usually follow those rules. Sometimes I don't, but
Do those rules like include like banging the table 2 times with like spoons, or like what all does that entail?
no, the rules that I was talking about were just like when to stop pulling a pipe, when to do singles, when to reset, stuff like that.
Oh,
The only really superstitious thing I have is the cheese hat.
okay. All right. Good to know. Hero, any superstitions on your end?
I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to luck. You can either get your desired high-end driver at the first 10 pull or at the very deep end. And I've had this experience a lot of times. I remember when Kamek was introduced, I got him, I think it was 7 out of 100. That was the lowest I've ever gotten.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I think it was Party Time Pauline. I got her in the first 10 pull. So yeah, so it's just a matter of luck at this point.
That was a good
Also-
question. Yep, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Also, I have a superstition. I have really good luck when it comes to coin boxers. Like I got Mario toilet paper on my first 10 pull. I got Kamek on my first. Peacification on my second. Pauline Party Time on my third or fourth. But daisies, I have super bad luck. Like, I really wanted Daisy Yukata. So in the Ninja Tour, I skipped Gold King Bob-omb and went into that week 2 pipe, and she was like 3rd or 4th. And I was out of rubies and I couldn't get Gold King Bob-omb. And then with Swimmer too, I really wanted her. I pulled. She was at the very bottom of the pipe. And so that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Well, thankfully she hasn't had too many coin boxers to screw you over with. So
Yeah.
get that going for you. That question was from Jeeves2424. We all know Jeeves. Now I will say, when it comes to superstitions, I've been noticing, I've been doing this top 10 grind, which is basically just doing ranked for every track as much as possible. But I will say there's so many runs where I have like a double coin box or like a coin box coin. And I'm like, this item box, if this item box is another coin box or a coin or a single box, this is my run. And like, I'm going through the item box and I'm like, trying to figure, like, I'm doing like, please Lord Jesus, give me, please give me what I need. This is my run. And then I don't get it. I get something garbage. So I've been like trying new superstitions to like throw in there when I go through that item box to try to see if I can somehow control my destiny, but it's all RNG. Which that kind of leads us as a segue to ThisBeChris's question. What's your least favorite 3-item combination from an item box? So when we go through an item box and we get 3 items, what sequence do you dread the most?
For
Two
first
coins
place or any
with
place?
Any place. I would think any place, and I would say that 2 coins with it are unoptimal, at least, because you don't have any protection, and you get hit all the time with it.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, go ahead, Amy.
You're saying what you don't want, like a green shell and 2 banana, like I just got. You want a double coin and something, or you always, if you have a coin box driver, you always want coin box. But yeah, anything that's not a coin in 3, you don't want. Well, I mean, 2 of one thing and a third, because 3 obviously is a frenzy, but Yeah, like green shells and bananas. Like
Yep. Well,
annoying.
and
Huh?
to your point, especially if you're holding combo through an item box,
Mhm.
you're kind of counting for that coin, but you don't, right? You get those
Obviously,
hate
yeah.
that.
2 green shells of banana, and then you drop combo. You're like, what? No. There had to have been 1 coin in there, right? I
Yep,
feel ya.
that happens too. Very frustrating.
And then what also when you're in like last place or 7th, 6th, somewhere in the very back, and you're like, please give me a mushroom frenzy, red shell frenzy, something. Then you get 2 mushrooms and a mega mushroom. You're like, well,
Yep.
Classic.
that's not gonna help me get it first. So I hate that.
Right.
Coin banana is like my dreaded thing. I feel like I always get it. Like whenever I'm wanting a coin frenzy, I always see coin banana like over and over and over again.
And then when you see that yellow third thing, you're like, oh, it is a frenzy. And so you start like tapping the screen real quick and then like you release your banana. It's like, no, we needed that as protection. Shoot.
Yeah, that's right when you get green shelled by a reckless bot. Yeah, that's exactly how it happens.
I would say like another one would be least likely that I personally don't like is we have a coin, and a single. So it's like, okay, you don't have protection. So if you get hit by a red shell or green shell or whatever, you might lose combo. So that can be another thing.
So kind of along those lines, I absolutely
And you always get red shelled with that too when you have that.
I hate that.
I hate it when I get a coin box and then like a red shell, green shell, because I would much rather have the protection first. I always seem to like get hit because I'm waiting for like that curve that I really like, right? To be able to like really snag like a lot of coins. And because I'm waiting for it, you know, it's like the bots know. And so then they shoot and, you know, then I get hit and stall out, whatever, lose combo. So I always wish that like, I was actually thinking how cool would it be is with like with an update, if you could change the order of the things that come up.
Oh
So
yeah,
just
that would be cool.
when they come up, you
like
use your other finger and like kind of slide it over. Like, okay, I want to use like I need to have a shell right now as protection, so I'm going to pop it over into the first spot instead of the third spot.
That sounds complicated.
Oh, that
That
sounds
would be very cool.
I love that idea.
I think
Yeah.
that would be a game changer. That would be pretty sick if we could like just choose the order after they've already been rolled of when to use stuff.
It does
Very
take
good idea.
multitasking, but I love that idea.
So also, can I say, after getting a Penguinette and putting her up to level 6, a lot of people were kind of like bagging on the ice flower. And I actually have been so frustrated the past couple months with whenever I'm driving, I always seem like whenever a bot like just comes up and like just taps me on the side, like not even like coming to like ram me, but just like a barely like itsy bitsy touch. I stall out, lose combo, and it's ridiculous. Having Penguinette right now and having the ice flower, it is so nice being able to go through 4 hits of bots, like almost like with a heart.
Yeah.
And everyone else is stalling out. And I don't know, like I was kind of dreading like having that skill, and because I don't really have very many other drivers that have it like leveled up with that skill. And racing her so much in this Vancouver stuff, like I've noticed more often than not, I'm like, oh, that was so nice having ice flower. And you can actually get 2 ice flowers with like a coin or something.
Oh, you can? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was
Interesting.
surprised the other night. I was like, because with coin boxes, it's impossible to get 2 coin boxes with like some other thing. But I've seen it like at least twice now where I've had 2 ice flowers. I'm like, oh, like protection. And then if I do decide to shoot it off, it's like protection again.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoy the skill. I don't think it's half bad.
Now, is that
That's
also
why I
true?
love.
Is that also true for the boomerang flower? I'm trying to remember. I think
Yeah, you can get 2.
You can get 2.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
What were we gonna say,
Yeah.
KnightRoso?
That's why I love triple bananas too, because you can just like ram into somebody on the side and then they get hit and fall behind.
Yeah.
Now that frenzy works, it's a lot better. The triple
so good.
banana.
Definitely.
Much better. I will say, I remember a conversation on the Kart Life server probably a year ago where we talked about the bots. Like, what if that was like their day job? Like they clocked in and they were a bot for for the day. They have to come home to their family at the end of being a bot for the day. And like I could imagine like you causing havoc on their day as they're trying to keep combo, and you're getting that ice flower and they're dropping the combo and they're like, dang it, all these ice flowers everywhere, it's ruining my day. Fun little tangent we had, but yeah, can you imagine if the bots had that was their day job?
So like the movie Wreck-It Ralph, have you seen that?
Yeah, like Wreck-It Ralph.
They all come off the screen like when the arcade shuts down, and they're all like chatting with each other, and that one's fun. I like that one.
Yeah, it was fun. Those were the good old days of Mario Kart Tour, and we were having a lot of fun. We're trying to bring fun back. We're trying to do it. It could be it's been kind of a grueling year, but talking about fun, I'm talking about Merry Mountain R, everyone's favorite track. It's everyone's been going through it 2 tours in a row, trying to go up the hill with our coin box and absolutely hating it. I've also been noticing from doing my grind here, Vanilla Lake 2R, it's very, very boring. And it's like they didn't even think about like what they were actually gonna do for this track. So ThisBeChris asks a question, which course do you actually like, the R version more than the regular or the T? What track do you actually think the R version is the best of the 3 or potentially 4?
Oh, that one's tough.
I really like DK Summit R, especially since I'm using Mario Satellaview and he's Lucky 7, and I can just go up the sides and get like a double Lucky 7. Rosalina's Ice World, it's really fun to use Pick from Toad on the R version, and 3DS Rainbow Road, I love that one.
Okay, yep. All 3 great ones, good answers there.
I'd have to think about that.
Hard question.
I actually kind of like the new SNES Vanilla Lake 2R that was in ranked last week. It was nice that it was shorter, and I felt like it was more of like it.
Which one?
Oh, not last week, last tour. So second week of last tour. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so Vanilla Lake 2R. I kind of like that it was shorter, and like had a coin boxer so that it was just easier to like reset. And I don't know, like I felt like I grinded it a lot, but it didn't take as long like to get the run that I wanted. And I kind of feel like with that particular R course, there were so many coins and like jump boosts and stuff that it felt more like a trick track, but it was just an R. So I like courses where I don't feel like I'm forced to like run into the left wall, run into the right wall, run into the left wall, run into the right wall, because it doesn't feel like a racing game. And in order to be able to score points, you need to keep combo. And so I like it when there's opportunities to be able to, hit coins or hit jumps or hit something else that actually makes it like it feels like I'm going fast instead of just bouncing into walls. So
like Calamari Desert 2 on the trade tracks, you're left, right, left, right, left, right.
And when like the back of your cart hits like the side of the track, and so like just before you're about to finish your like mini combo, it like hits and then stops your drift, and it's like come on,
terrible. I agree with you. Phyllis, what do you think in our track that you were like more than the regular?
It's a really hard one. And I'm also trying to think about it in the MP aspect, but I really cannot think of one. Like seriously, like either I enjoy all of the versions or none of them, and it's.
I see. Yep.
It is weird. It is just weird to think about. Yeah.
Okay, I've thought of one. I like
all right.
I like DK Pass R because that has Party Time Pauline. I really like that on the DK Pass. I like the R
Yeah. Okay.
a lot. That one I think is my favorite for the DK passes, although they're all really good.
That one
But
is
I
really
like
fun.
that one.
DK pass.
I mean, I thought of one. I enjoy Sunset Wilds R
Oh, wow.
and RG.
Mhm.
Also because I think one of them has a koala on it, and I like koala, so that's nice. But the track it itself is better on R for sure.
Okay, I have one more. A Royal Raceway R. I like that one too a lot.
Okay.
I think that one because that one has the most boxes, I think, for Royal Raceway. You get a
think
lot
you're
of
right.
points on that one.
Oh,
So
that
probably
that one
those two,
has like 3 or 4 coin boxes, I think, as well.
right?
Do
Yeah,
you
it's
like-
a good track.
Do you like the RT more than the R?
No,
Like,
the RT, that one has who's on that one that I was using? I forget. Isn't there super on that one?
Toad
There
Pit
is
The
Crew?
giant banana they just put on it?
Yeah.
Or
Yellow Toad, yeah.
Yellow Pit Crew
Yeah.
Toad on it.
yeah. Now that he's on it, I like it better, but still like the R better, best.
Yeah. I will say, I think the FrenzyFans guy, just a rebuttal on that. I think the reason you like Vanilla Lake 2R is because the item blocks are right there in front of you, so you can quickly reset it. I think that's also why I like DK Summit one of the most, because it's like right there. You can just literally go through item box. This is trash. Reset. And so any track with the item boxes right there. I think, and even like, I don't even like Yoshi's Circuit, but like Yoshi Circuit R, I think it is. I like it more than the others because like the item box is right there, so I can just quickly get through. And I think that's why you like it. Other than that, I think the track is kind of boring in my opinion. I'll throw on there. I don't know if I like it more than the regular or the T, because I think I like all three. But maybe Maple Treeway. For whatever reason, I really like the R version and kind of starting that direction versus, I think it's kind of weird like going the other way around when you're going down and then you're about to get shot up. I just feel like that's just like really awkward. I'd rather like, come down and then you're trying to like go the R version. So I really like the R version of Maple Treeway. When I'll add to that, but I know everyone may not appreciate that version.
I think it's
Right.
fine, but I find it hard to keep combo on the R version. There are like 2 or 3 spots that I drop combo a lot.
Yeah, that first little like S curve, I feel like you can never really like complete a combo unless you start, I forget what position it is, but there's one position that if you start in, it's so much easier just to get the right angle to be able to keep combo like just coming right out of the gate than it is like any of the other positions. But yeah, I totally feel you there. It's frustrating.
Go for it.
There's actually a fun fact. Maple Treeway R has not been in ranked at all so
Really?
far.
Wow.
Mhm.
I know RT was, but yeah, all right. I think you're right.
Yeah, the RT, then regular, and the T have been all in ranked, but not the R version. So
Huh.
Thank goodness.
KnightRoso wants to keep it that way.
maybe Halloween 2022, they could give us Maple Treeway R, so be prepared.
Who knows?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that concludes kind of this first hour of the podcast. For the next 30 minutes or so, we want to get into some multiplayer questions, kind of do like a little bit more of a Ask the Expert, and then the final 30 minutes getting into kind of an Ask the Expert with GamerAmy around All Cup ranking. But this is more kind of for Phillish's time. I know Phillish, you come from a background very, very dominant when it comes to time trials, and you've used that to to also do very well in multiplayer. And I think from our last episode of Kart Talk, we discussed a lot of cool things, but I think that there was still a lot to be learned. And so I think we've all been very used to multiplayer here in the last 6 months. You know, we've already kind of got the community buzzing from last time when it came to just talking about general tips and tricks beyond just, you know, you should use a red shell glider, you know, you should use this, but really getting into some of, like I remember with ER Dad specifically mentioning as one example, like not going over a jump and just going around it, or if going over a jump, using a mushroom so you go down as quickly as possible versus taking a mushroom up, which is what I did like an idiot, thinking like, oh, I'll just ramp up and I'll just go faster. No, it actually is slower to do it that way. So Phillish, you know, I think, yeah, I challenge you to kind of think about some of the high level things. I put together some questions just to ask you as well, but we'll kind of let the community here kind of ask you questions as you go too. But after you watched that episode, what were some things that stood out to you?
So with the shroom you mentioned, in general, it is called air boosting, which you can also do by charging up a empty or whatever to release it in the air. Yeah, and of course, while gliding, you can shroom too, because it's always slow to be in the air. When it comes to one frequently often used technique, it would be off-road hopping, which we also call listing, which stands for a non-item shortcut. And what you basically do is charging up a empty, and you use the edge, which kind of separates the road and the off-road. You use this edge to hop off and land as far as you can, and you start hopping until you reach a road part again. And you can pretty much do this on like almost every track which has off-road. Of course, if you have a shroom, you would use the shroom instead. But if you front run, for example, you don't always have a shroom at your hands, so, and it will pretty much always be faster compared to going around the normal way.
And you have to, in order to do the jumping part, you have to like also tap the screen too to kind of, yeah, okay. Very cool. I haven't tried that yet. Do you have to have smart steering off to do that?
Yes, it is exclusively without smart steering.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to get used to that.
I started playing without, and I mean, at the start you drive a lot into the off-road, but it is all practice.
Mhm.
You know. Yeah, one other thing which is also kind of a shortcut is respawning, which you would not see anywhere else. So basically, if you fall off a glider, you can be spawned forwards or backwards, and if you can spawn forwards, it's oftentimes faster if you shroom right after respawning. And you can do this on, I would say, 50% of gliders, like almost. And you can also do it before some bouncy shrooms. For example, on Remix Choco Island, I think Auti has shrooms at the end, or Remix Rainbow Road 2 used to have it, but they actually patched it out, which is because it was extremely broken. Yeah, and I think apart from that, it's always clean driving. And what items you can you can pull and hold, and yeah.
So I'm curious, with the respawning over gliders, like glider areas, is each glider area, is it like pre-programmed? If you were to, like do a nosedive and then be respawned, will that specific gliding area always like respawn you either ahead or behind, or is it possible to get respawned like in both areas depending on like where you go out of bounds?
Yes. I'm trying to think of an example. I think Remix Rainbow Road 1 has these 3 gliding sections, I think. 3 and you can, I think you will almost always get put backwards, so you can't do that here. One opposite example is on Daisy Hills, where you can pretty much instantly fall off, and you will spawn on the other side, which is pretty far. Like it's like 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah,
wow.
It's a lot, and but I have I have, I have, I have, I have, I have managed once to fall really early on that one, and I got put onto the bridge, which is horrible.
Yeah, I've
So
done that.
but it's like you have to really try you have to really try to respawn backwards on that one, for example. So it's pretty easy to that one. But in general, there are always two areas where you can spawn in front or behind.
Good, I like it. Another question I had about gliding was, I see a lot of people in multiplayer, as they're gliding, they're doing like a lot of this and trying to curve around. I am not that skilled, so when I try to do it, I just bump into something and fall down, and I'm not very skilled. But I assume that they're not trying to get hit. Are there some best practices when gliding? I know you mentioned one being using a mushroom to go faster, and in general, gliding is going to be slower than going on the road. So you want to get down as quick as possible. But
yes,
over these long periods of space, is that maneuvering? Is there any method to the madness there?
I don't think so. So when I glide, I usually use the time to look backwards, and because there is not really anything else to do, so you will just glide. And if I see a person with a red shell or anything I'm afraid of, for example, I would act accordingly. But when it comes to gliding, like, I don't know why people I don't know, like, you should just glide in a straight optimal line.
I wonder if when people are gliding, if they have like a shell on their back and they're trying to like get in front of like someone that might be like gliding to the left or right to try and get them to go out of bounds or something. I don't know.
That could be, but I don't think it's worth it to do this.
Okay.
But when it's fun, I mean, why not?
It
Yeah,
could just be like, it's like the equivalent of spinning wheelies or something. They're just like showing off.
Yeah, like for example, horns are really horrible for protection. So if I am in first and I pull a horn and a coin, and the and second place has almost always reds, and you won't be able to time it, I oftentimes slow down and horn them, like, because I can't do anything else, like, but that's a horn type of thing.
So I'm curious, sorry, Studfit, I just thought of another question as far as like So I know that with a lot of multiplayers, some skills that aren't really necessarily considered to be valuable for like getting a lot of points are valuable in multiplayer. So like heart, for example. What's your take on, because I think the whole community is kind of really not liking the super leaf. Does a super leaf for multiplayer, is it similar to like heart or some other. I think the reason why we don't like Super Leaf is because it like drops combo, but you're not really worried about combo in multiplayer. Is Super Leaf like a desirable item that you would want when playing multiplayer?
Sadly not. So we have one exception on Vancouver R, where bubbles and super leaves can be useful on that track, and because if you are in the glider and you glide into the hockey stadium, and there's ice, and for whatever reason, if you are in a bubble or a super leaf, you get an insane slide speed boost out of the cannon, and it saves like 6 seconds too, or like 5.5. So we've been using we have been using these items for that track, but otherwise, sadly, there is no practical reason to use it.
I've seen the bubble zoom by me while I'm in the hockey stadium. I've seen this. I didn't realize that the Super Leaf was also like that. Which
it has. Yeah, it's. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say that's interesting that those two are doing the same thing, meaning that maybe when the Super Leaf was designed, they literally built it off of the bubble, as a technique.
I mean, they have the hovering property in common, so that is the reason for that.
It reminds me of Mario 3D World, where like if you get on ice and you crouch a whole bunch, you can like get insane speed. So I mean that.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, I do have a couple questions because I know we just carved out about 30 minutes or so for multiplayer questions. But I had a couple questions about, say, Lightning and Blue Shell. Let's say, when's the best time to release that? Thinking about it, I know there's a couple times when I've been playing multiplayer, which I don't play that very often, but when I do, you gotta get these items in lap 1. And I'm like, I don't want to lose them. Like, I don't want someone to hit my Blue Shell with something and knock it out. So I just release it early. But what would be the best approach if you get that in lap 1? How long should you hold it? When should you release it? What's the best way to use those golden items?
That's an interesting question, because for Blue Shells, I think you can throw them instantly, or at least until the next item set. You should throw them. You can time them if you have people in front of you. You can try to hit them with the Blue Shell because it hits people on the way, which is a horrible feature, by the way. I don't know why they implemented this, but it is how it is. So you might as well try this, or you can hold it and hit the first player out of a glider or a cannon, which is evil, but you're trying to maximize every item. But but you might have to hold it for a while, and you have to think think about it if it's worth it. As for the shock, I would always hold it for the final lap. Reason being, if you use it way too early, other people who were shocked out of it have enough time to catch up in the second lap. So if you hold it for the second lap and use it and hopefully use it if everyone is not in a in a dodge item. I lost my trail of thought there. Anyway, you should use it, or no, like you should hold it at least for the final lap.
Okay. I had one last question, and then I'll let you, kind of touch base on everything else you wanted to get out to the community. But items are crucial, especially so in America, we have this game called football, and we have what's called the red zone. You don't want to mess up in the red zone. You want to score, and you want to be very efficient. I almost think about it in Mario Kart Tour. We're going through lap 2. You're maybe going right. You're hitting those last 2 item boxes. You're like, all right, we're in the red zone now. I need to be as efficient as possible. I can goof around and I can still recover if I need to. But right now is when I need to get serious. I need to focus. What are you thinking, and how are you kind of approaching those last 2 item boxes?
It depends on the track. So I would say if it's a short track with shortcuts such as Trooper Beach 2, any Choco Islands, which are really short, and I would actually start earlier in the race and think about, okay, I want a shroom and a star, or a star and anything else for the ending. So I don't have to rely on items at the last second. So I want my items earlier to use accordingly at the end. And for longer tracks, and it depends too, because oftentimes at the end shocks happen. So if you don't have a heart or anything else to dodge anything, I want it as soon as possible. And I think so in single player you always want to get first, and in MP it's kind of like you have to work with what you have. So if I am in 4th and I pull a star, which is really rare, I could get first, but I can use it wrong and I will get like 8th. So you kind of have to adapt to the situation and to try to get the best possible spot you wanna or you can reach. So if you pull only crap items, you can't get first place out of that. So you obviously want shrooms, stars, and hearts, which are the 3 most obvious and easy to use items at the end.
Very helpful. All right, so we have looks like 4 or 5 minutes left to get the rest of what we didn't cover from last episode out there to the community. What would be the most useful, I guess, last couple tips and tricks that you give them?
I just have one fun fact, which is the first item set of each race can only contain shrooms, shells, coins, and bananas. So if you want to pull for anything else, you have to wait for the second item set, which is just something you can always keep in mind if you want to play for shock or for the bill, which are the most powerful items in the game.
And any special
Also,
skill, like level, like lucky 7 or something, you can't get on a first box at all?
No.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I do have one question.
Sure.
What about like water? Like in Cheap Lagoon or Rosalina's Ice World, it's faster to go on the ground, right? So you want to get down there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Water pretty much is air, and air is slow, and so is water.
Mm-hmm.
What about can you if you're holding a shock or you're holding a blue shell, can someone is there such thing as 2 shocks in one race? I've heard people just say yes or no.
There should not be, but there are a couple glitches in the game. I think the earliest glitch was had 7th and 8th place can pull shock at the same item set, which is not supposed to happen. Recently, you can pull 2 shocks at once too, which also should not supposed to happen. So there are some glitches which are just not being fixed. You can also keep items through shocks randomly, which also should not happen because you get shocked out of the items usually. So it should be fixed, but won't happen probably. And it is always hilarious when you have 2 shots in the game. So I guess it's fine.
What about bullet bills? Can you have multiple bullet bills in one race, like at the same time?
For one player holding, you cannot. But there is in general, you can, so like in a room, there can only be a certain amount of an item in play at the time, so it can only be one shot, one blue, one blooper, one mega shroom. So if anyone else has an item, a blooper, you can't pull it. There can be two builds at a time. So two players individually can have a build. There can be, I think, 3 stars. I haven't seen 4, and I think everything else is up to 8. So anyone can have shrooms, and I think shroom is also the only item which you can pull in any position, although it's like really rare in first place, like for obvious reasons.
Yeah. You're not catching up to anybody. Yeah, you're running the house. So well, cool. Hey, Phillish, I appreciate you going through all that, and appreciate you sharing your knowledge. I think that was extremely helpful. And I think on this Car Talk series, we try to have people from all different skill levels, all different free to play, whales. We try to have a variety. So when we had 2 openings, I was like, let's pull someone from the free to play community, somebody that knows time trial and multiplayer, and then let's also pull in some of the biggest whales that I know, like GamerAmy. So let's transition the last segment of our podcast here to talk a little bit about all cup ranking. So Hero, you're going for top 100 this tour. I've been going for top 10. It's going to be tough. I'm probably going to finish with about 90% action count and hope that no one else is really going for that top 10, even though I know like literally 5 or 6 people going for it. But hey, I'm gonna put my best foot forward and have some fun while I have this holiday break. But maybe before we get to some questions, Hero, tell us a little bit about your experience over the last 8 or 9 days.
Yeah, so obviously this will be my first time attempting top 100. I will say it's very very stressful. I normally grind, I would say 5 to 6 hours a day roughly, and like obviously you have to get the perfect runs. In my opinion, it feels like I'm actually grinding for top 10. Yeah, so right now I'm currently at 1.397 as of right now. My main goal is to push to 1.4. I don't know if that's going to be the cutoff, but honestly, at this point, I realize I also need to realize that I need to take my mental health seriously. I don't want to I need to use that as my priority. So I'm just going to aim for 1.4. And if I end up getting it, amazing. If I don't, it's all good. It is what it is.
I could say just based on my experience, 3 hours is a long time. Like I'm thinking to myself, yeah, 3 hours here, 3 hours there, not a big deal. I could probably carve that out. But to be sitting in a chair and be sitting with my phone for 3 hours straight, that to me is this channel and everything I do with Mario Kart Tour, it's all about in and out. I'm trying to do as quick as possible. I really pride myself on being able to do all cup ranking, the top 100 in 8 to 10 hours. I'm literally just doing it's bathroom breaks here and breaks where I'm waiting for things, because I'm doing multiple things. And that's why most of my content has little spelling errors or whatever, because I don't have time to double check. I'm literally just doing a bunch of different things. So this is tough to be, especially if you have 3 hours and then you get up and you don't have your run. You're just could I sit back down? Maybe I could, but maybe I'd be sitting there for another 3 hours and it'd be 6 hours wasted. So a lot to ask here, a lot to pick your brain on GamerAmy, but just in the thought process of a tour opening up, like this tour with the Penguin Tour, how do you plan your resources, things like level tickets, cap tickets, item tickets? How do you prepare for a tour? And then how do you leverage the things that are given to you in the tour, rubies, pipes, packs, etc.? We'll start there.
Well, I mean, unless I have the items at 7, I buy every pack every time. just because you never know if you're going to need those items, but most of the time, they are. As far as, well, what I first do is I always go through the course, and then I do multiplayer and take pictures of all the courses that aren't open and check what drivers, carts, and gliders, are on the top. And as far as that's what I'll use my tickets on, I do tour by tour. A lot of people probably, they do the long run and like, what is this item going to give me? How many tracks and all of that? But for me to be able to do top 10, I have to be able to do tour to tour. And so, yeah, I just look at all my,
every tour. You can't prepare for 2 tours in advance. You can't save tickets. It's like literally every ticket is being consumed.
Right. Yeah. I use pretty much all my cap tickets usually every tour, which is usually 10, right? Yeah. Well, there's 12 a tour, I guess, either a driver or whatever. But I write down all of my drivers, all of my carts, and all my gliders, and whichever ones are used the most that I don't already have capped or double capped or triple capped, then I'll go ahead and if I have enough tickets, triple or double, just as long as they're used a lot in the tour on different tracks that don't already have stuff that I need. And that's pretty much how I do it every time.
Yeah, and so I know you've in the past written it down on paper, but I know that you've also been using DKR's spreadsheet a few times in the recent last couple tours. Is that something you use every tour now going forward, or what usefulness do you find from it? What do you find is the most helpful?
Yeah, I use it every tour. I really like the fact that it shows the pictures of the drivers and the carts and the glider. I just think it's really cute. But
It's cute.
But yeah, I go ahead and just, I mean, it depends on the tour, but sometimes I'll go through and put in all my stuff and then look and see what my estimation might be. But on some of the tracks, I just think like the action count isn't, I mean, sometimes I'm like, wow, this is really high. Or some of them I'm like really low. So I don't really pay too much attention to that. I just know if it's a coin box track and I'm getting a double coin box frenzy and 2 singles, that's going to be a really good run. And that's what I'll focus on. And if the action count isn't the same, it just isn't the same. But yeah, like when coin box, it has to be either a coin box coin and 2 singles or a double coin box and 2 singles for me to be happy with that race. And as far as non-coin box, like if it's a lucky 7, lucky 7 coin, you know what I'm saying? But if it's like lately though, I've been having trouble with non-coin box tracks that don't have a good skill getting a 3rd frenzy. I mean, I've been on a track for like 10, 11 hours straight and not been able to get 3 frenzies. It drives me nuts. And sometimes I'll leave it with 2 coin frenzies. And then at the end of the tour, like the last 2 days, I usually use those days to go back on tracks that I can do better and try to get that 3rd frenzy. Hopefully a 3rd coin, but that doesn't happen a lot.
What percentage of your tracks would you say you get 3 frenzies on?
All of them.
Oh.
Unless it's a 2-item track, then it's going to be 2 frenzies. If it's a coin box 2-item track, I still try to do the 2 frenzies and the 2 singles. But if not, at least the 2 frenzies and the 1 single.
That's a pretty intense breakup of 2 weeks. Do you start with coin box tracks, or do you start, trying to get that coveted triple frenzy for the non-coin box driver first?
I try to do, it depends on how many non-coin box tracks there are on the tour. If there's, I guess this tour, there's what, like 15, I think, or 16. Like I'll try to do at least 1 of the non-coin box tracks a day, or maybe even 2 to get them out of the way and save the bigger scoring tracks like the coin boxes till later on. I mean, that just makes me feel better about it, I guess, because I hate doing non-coin box tracks. They annoy me.
What are the questions you guys have for Amy?
I mean, the only reason why I was going for top 100 this tour specifically was I was thinking, okay, we're going to Vancouver Velocity 2. It's a city tour, so you should expect scores to be, quite low. But seeing as the cutoffs, yeah, it's quite insane to say the least. So Yeah, that's what I was legit praying for. But you know, at the end of the day, like I'm just gonna get
You
one
can do
point.
it.
I
You
hope
know?
so, Amy. I hope so. I mean, I if I have 777 everything, believe me, I would be chilling. But unfortunately, I'm not that.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's hard
yeah,
with new
so
tracks, especially because there's what, 4 new tracks. Even me, I didn't have something that's 7 on the new tracks. So obviously, I'm sure other people don't.
and you know, I still have like what 7 high-end driver tickets, and I don't want to spend all of it this tour because I'm worried about next tour if it's a you know potential coin box. So I want to save
Right?
that. So
Exactly.
See, that's the thing though, with if you're trying to break into top 100 or top 1000 for your first time, like it's all or nothing. Like you don't want to have anything left on the table to be like, had I just spent like 2 or 3 more tickets or the 7 more tickets, then I would have been able to get that extra, 100 or 1000, 2000 points. Like it's
yeah,
all or nothing.
Mhm.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I just want to aim for 1.4, and
Yeah.
whatever happens will happen. If I get it, great. If not, then all's good. You know,
Absolutely.
it's a good experience.
Right? And you can always try again. So, you know.
With everything at level 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So random question for you, Amy.
Mhm.
Okay, so first of all, it not to like enjoy your suffering, but it makes me feel good to know that even after playing a race for like 10 hours, you still sometimes can't get like a triple frenzy run. But
Right.
I'm curious. We had the question about like superstition with gold pipes. Like, is there anything or like anything that you can do to increase the likelihood of like a double frenzy run? Because sometimes I play forever. I'm like, I have no idea how to do this.
Right. And crazy how the double frenzy. I think a lot of it just is about time, like how much time you spend on a track, honestly. But also, I mean, I've had times when I could get it in 10 minutes, you know. So I think it's a lot of it has to do with luck and stuff. I don't think there's really anything I do special that causes me to get more frenzies besides the long hours I spend.
Okay, I had to ask
I'm-
because there seems to be this theme in our household where I'll ask a question and there's a really easy answer. And I'm like, wait, I've been playing the game this long and I didn't know that you could race auto mode and get experience points.
Right.
I will say, Frenzy Fangirl, I've spent, what was it, 5 hours and 30 minutes on Choco Island 2T just to get not only a boombox, but also another frenzy because Shy Guy Ninja refuses to give me another frenzy. So I feel your pain too.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's all a matter of luck. Like, I don't know how this
Mhm.
happened, but like late last night when I was grinding Vancouver Velocity 2, I got double coin and banana frenzy. Literally that, and then I did it again with the Morton Cup, and I got the same frenzies again. It was
Oh,
unreal.
nice.
Unreal.
Hey.
So I'm curious,
That was-
Amy, when you're
Mhm.
grinding one track for a long time, like it's been talked about, the whole badgeless bots thing. Like you want to play a course over and over, like
Mhm.
completing it and then, re-entering it until you see, the number of bots with badges down to like 1 or 2 or like maybe 3.
Mhm. I
Have you-
usually do no bot badges because I've been screwed with having one badge bot, and at the very end they hit me with a red shell. So I'm like, nope, I'm getting rid of all of them.
So have you noticed though that once you get it down to 0 and say like you just restarting, and then like say maybe you do get, I don't know, you end up finishing the race, but then you come back into that race, then all of a sudden all of the bots are badged.
Yeah.
Have you noticed if there's like a sweet point of like if you've been grinding on one particular track for X amount of minutes, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 200 minutes, whatever, that there's a point of no return where you have to go to another track because the computer is either like in a glitch or just like super stubborn and just not giving you anything. Is there like a certain cutoff that you're like, no, after 30 minutes I have to go to another track and grind it?
I mean, for me, it's because I have a lot of time, obviously, a lot of free time. So yeah, I mean, that's hard to say because sometimes I'll just get so frustrated. But I mean, I've been on a track for 6-7 hours and still never got a good run. And by then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take the double coin that I already have or whatever, and I'll move on. So I mean, yeah, it takes me hours, and I'm very stubborn because I'm like, oh, I didn't get it done, you know. But
Right.
sometimes you just have to move on, or it's just gonna stress you out. So it just depends on how much time you have to spend, on how long you want to sit there. And because, like I said, you could get a amazing run in 10 minutes, or it could be 10 hours. It's just, it's never, there's not like a strategy for it, really.
It's a matter of luck.
That's
Yeah.
the other part about it
Mhm.
is like sometimes I'll get like a coin box and like 2 single boxes, and I have like, I don't know, maybe 2 item boxes left, but then I go through one and it's not a coin box, and I'm just like, I need it now, so I throw my item ticket and it's not what I need, and I'm like,
Right.
I have to make a decision. I have to either hard close the app and get my ticket back, or
Mm.
I don't know, reset and just take, burn a ticket. I mean, I'm sure you must be, it must be extremely difficult for you going for top 10 every single tour, because you're running out of item tickets. Item tickets is probably one of the most scarce resources for you. In those situations, how do you even go through that risk analysis?
And it depends on the track too. Like if it's a boomerang track and I have like the perfect setup with, the coin box and 1 and 3 and I'm on 5, I'll probably waste a good 3 or 4 tickets before actually like quitting and coming back to it, which is really annoying to do. But yeah, I'll waste a few tickets if it's a good setup and a good track. But if not, if it's a short track, then yeah, I won't even waste 1 ticket before I quit and come back. Or if it's a lucky 7, I don't ever get rid of the badges because it's really simple to get in front of them with a lucky 7,
Yeah, and you mentioned these situations where you might be grinding for 11 hours. Do you ever take, and I assume you probably have to take a bathroom break at some point, but like, do you take other breaks? Do you take, like, are breaks helpful, or are they distracting, or you just say, hey, I'm going to focus and then I'll take a break when I get this thing? Or like, how do you, because I think that's one aspect that Hero and I are both going through, is like the mental aspect. I find myself like taking more breaks than I should, because I'm dreading that, trying to go for that triple coin frenzy or something. So I probably am like on Discord more often now, because I'm like, I'm putting it off, procrastinating. But for you, like, how do you stay focused? How do you manage your mental health at the same time?
Right. I don't know how I manage it. Like I said, it's hard, but I usually will play like 11 hours a day or so. But like at a certain time in the evening, I just stop for the rest of the night. I don't really take breaks during the day per se. I just I'll have my TV on in the background and have TV shows on that'll kind of distract me a little bit too. So I'm not just sitting there staring at the screen the whole time. I'm watching TV too with it too.
I do have one quick question for you, Amy. So let's say, for a coin box driver, you end up getting for example, a coin box coin, but at the end you got 2nd place. Do you recommend going back to it, or just accept that run?
I would go back, because I wouldn't take anything but first, because obviously your points are going to be a lot better. But it also depends if you have, if you have the time to, then yes.
Okay.
If you don't have the time, then be happy with it.
Okay. Awesome.
And same thing for, it sounds like, I think from talking with you in the past, same thing for dropping combo too, right?
Yeah, I usually, if I drop a combo, I guess very rarely will I take a run if there's a drop combo. But if it's like a really, really amazing run, like I had a triple coin box and then like I got hit after and lost combo or something, I probably would take that, but not like, usually no, I don't take drop combos. It has to be a full combo, because I don't really know what the point difference is. Some people, Dad was telling me, Dad was saying it's only like 200 points less, but I don't think it's that less of points.
It's about
that
400. Assuming that you are going to continue hitting everything that you would have, it's a loss of 400. So sometimes, like for instance, if you just maybe drop combo on accident in between 2 coin sets or something like that, but you got all those coins, then it's just a 400 gap. However, most of the time I'm dropping combo at least is, I get red shelled and then I'm off my line and then I miss 2 or 3 actions here. And yeah, so in that case, then I'm missing those 2 or 3 actions plus the 400 points. So it's a total of like more like 500, 600. But yeah, it's not as bad as getting second place. And I can guarantee that.
Yeah, for sure.
So Coinbox is king. If you can, just tell me a little bit about your thought process approaching a Coinbox track specifically. So what do you always start from the first block? Do you like to pass through these item boxes at place first, third place, fourth place? Do you reset all the time? And then where do you use your item tickets?
Well, I mean, ideally, I'd like to be in first and get to the box. And for me, or not first, fourth seems to be the best spot for me to get a bunch of coin box frenzies or singles. And if, like I said, it all depends on how long it took me to get the badges out, if I want to continue to keep resetting until I get in fourth place. But yeah, first or fourth work the best for me for coin boxes. I use my items. Well, I'll go through the first one, and if I don't have a coin box frenzy or coin frenzy or single, obviously reset. Unless it's like a really long track and there's like 8 boxes, I'll continue on to the second box. I usually don't use my item ticket unless I have a double frenzy and a single box. And I'm, on the second lap and I'm waiting for that other single or even a third frenzy with it, So that's when I use my item ticket. Most of the time.
Good. No, it seems like I'm sure you have it down to a system by now. I mean, you've been doing it for as long as you have. Now, I will say, when will you feel like it's complete? I know, like the last 2 days, we're just a couple days away from that, and I know I'm going to be in a situation where I'm panicking. I'm going to see, 3 or 4 tracks with 10,000 gain, like a lot to make up still, but. Like a good example would be these calamari deserts. For whatever reason, the action count's extremely high, and I know one of them I got, like, I think it was Lakitu. I got a Lucky 7 coin, and it was still like 30 actions short. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do that track again. I don't envision myself beating that, but I'm still like 10,000 from what the spreadsheet says I am. So from that respect, I can look at it from the gain. I could look at it from like the action count, or I could try to compare with my friends. I mean, how do you kind of go through the final 2 days to try to maximize what little time you have left?
Yeah, like I said, yeah, by then, hopefully I'm done with at least getting decent scores, and then I'll go back and see which tracks I could get the most points on, because by using this sheet, I'm looking at how much more it says I can get, and I'll do the one that I can get the most on, obviously first. Or like I said, usually there'll be a couple of non-coin box tracks that only have 2 frenzies, and I'll go back and try to get the third frenzy for those. But whichever ones give me the most points first is going to be the one I do first. And usually there's always about 6 or 7 tracks at least that I can go back on and get more points. So
well, that makes me feel better. 6 or 7 sounds more manageable than what I thought. But it's tough, and great job, Amy, on how long you've been doing it, going at it. I know COVID threw a little bit of a wrench in your streak there, but you're
yeah, I know.
I mean, you're one of the best players. I think, like, you and Zephiel have been going at it and have been extremely consistent. So I have so much respect for the 2 of you guys doing every single tour. This is not something I would wish upon my worst enemy, to be honest. So maybe you have a potential future in waterboarding or something in your future career. No, I appreciate it. Any other questions around All Cup ranking? We're kind of wrapping up the final few minutes of our episode, but I'll open it up because I know I've been asking a lot of questions for just personal for personal need specifically.
I have one. So
Yeah.
Amy, are there any tracks that you like hate with a passion? Like, I hate Airship Fortress R. I had like 10,000 yen on track. I said, screw it, I'm not doing that. Are there any tracks like that for you?
Yeah, I don't like Cheap Lagoon. It's just even if you start out like having a good run, like you can never tell when you're going to get that extra item box from the shells. So it's hard to be able to go through that track. Because actually right now on Cheap Lagoon, I think I'm using Donkey Kong Jr. is on that one, I think, or Dixie. I forget which one of those two. But you'd think triple banana cool, but since the track is so wide, I got a double triple banana and a coin frenzy, and it was only 130 actions. So both of my triple banana frenzies were obviously not that good. But yeah, I don't like that track. That's probably my most hated track of all of them.
I had banana and coin frenzy on that track, and it was still 120 actions. So
yeah, see, my triple banana sucked ass.
It's hit or miss.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't know if I was allowed to cuss. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, we'll pretend there was a beep there. We just misjudged. Apologize to any parents if you're listening to this with your children. But no, ultimately, I heard Cheap Lagoon is a lot of people's least favorite. I will say the Airship Fortress, it can be tough. Really, you have to get the right frenzies in the right place, and I think that's really one of the hardest parts. I will say, I think all tracks with gliding sections always do a curveball, and because you get those frenzies at the wrong place, and it's like you didn't get them at all. It's I know, like for instance, on this one, this Rainbow Road to the one where they kind of this glide section at the end. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten the coin box there or something. I'm just like, oh please, no, drop, and then I kind of try to do this little drop thing where I'm like hovering and trying to get the coins at the same time, and I always screw it up. I always run into that thump or whatever. But well, guys, we're wrapping up the final few minutes of our episode. Absolute pleasure to hear a lot about the multiplayer strategy, the All Cup ranking strategy. I might ping you later, Amy, about some additional tips. It's much tougher than I thought it would be, and everyone for joining us and talking about all these fun topics. But we'll kind of let everyone go around and say everyone, give a little goodbye to everyone. I think we hadn't heard quite as much in a while from you, FrenzyFans, Guy and Gal. I know you guys started out the episode hot, but we'll let you guys say goodbye to your fans. I know you guys have obviously a great channel, and I would highly recommend checking out FrenzyFans.
Can I actually ask one more question to Amy? Is that okay?
By all means.
Okay, sorry. So
Yeah,
I'm curious. A lot of us kind of newer players that are trying to break into like ACR 1000 or ACR 100. A lot of them use the projections from Alex Young, and kind of use that as like a barometer to kind of tell like whether or not to go all in or not. But I'm curious with like top 10, if it's really only like 15 players in the entire world that are influencing this top 10 cutoff. I'm curious, do you ever like pay attention to the top 10 projection number, or are you always playing like Tuesday night till like the cutoff, just trying to squeak out like the most amount of points possible, like no matter what?
As far for me, like Tuesdays, to be honest, I usually will save a track that doesn't really have much points on it, so that I can get that extra 30 or 40 or whatever thousand to bump my score up. I don't usually pay attention to his predictions. I did one time, and it just, I don't know, it seemed like it freaked me out. I was like, what? That seems awfully high, especially for me. But I ended up still getting in there. But no, I don't usually. I mean, he's only been doing that, I think, for what, like a few tours now, or maybe 4 or 5. So I don't really pay attention to that. I just grind and do my races and get what I can get. And Tuesday, usually Tuesday is kind of, for me, like I said, I'm not really doing a whole lot. Actually, I'm still trying to get S6 in multiplayer. So Tuesdays I'll do a little bit of multiplayer so I can get up to S6. But
hopefully use some of Phillish's tips there. That I know Alex has been doing it for a while, but he's recently been brought on to ER and posting it there, and
okay.
So no, it's not your fault. And I'm asking myself the same question, because I'm seeing these numbers and I'm like, hey, there's only 10 of us. Really depends on how high these 10 people are. So I don't really necessarily, take it with a huge grain. So I know Dad's like, this is way too low. I can't. I'm like, oh no, that seems like a great number to me. Like, so from my perspective, though, it's like it really depends on which 10 people go for it. And for me, it's like I'm one cart ticket away from having everything at 7. So I'm really hoping I'm really hoping that me whaling, I can whale harder than people who have more time than me. I don't think it's going to work out. I'm probably going to finish 11th, but that's my hypothesis, is if I zig while everyone else is zagging, maybe there's a slight chance I slide in, and then I hear my good friends Dad and God Mode are going to do it just for craps and giggles. And so I'm sure I'll be maybe even 12th. 12th sounds great to me too. So ultimately, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, anybody can go for top 10, to be quite honest. If you just save all your cap tickets and your driver, all of your tickets for maybe 3 or 4 tours and use them all in one tour, you could probably do, most people could get a top 10, maybe 5 tours. I don't know exactly how many, but yeah, everybody could do it.
If you already have 75% of your inventory at 7.
Yeah. Well,
then you could use 3 tours worth of tickets to get the last 25%. The 10%.
Yeah, but anybody can go for it.
That is true. If you say for a full year, I'm sure you could have enough tickets to be able to go for a top 10. I know a good example would be probably one of your friends, Phillish, on the Ninja Tour. A free-to-play player used all of their tickets and got top 100. Is that correct?
I don't know who, but I think I heard about that too.
Yeah, so it's possible. Anybody can do
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, you just have to play like the super long game. It's a lot of being
ranked probably.
Yeah. And then understanding like when the stars align, like they have to be in an exact like perfect straight line.
Exactly.
Well, I've also heard that if you just triple cap the new driver, cart, and glider from the new tour, that you could do top 10 just by tripling all 3 of them.
Wow.
So that's what I did for Chemic and thought I was hot stuff for getting 67th, but
yeah,
I was 57 away from 10th.
Close enough.
Well, I will say that there is this trifecta, right? You have to have the right loadout, you have to have the right skill, and you have to have the most important ingredient, which is time. And honestly, it is probably in priority of time, account, and really time and accounts are the biggest. Skill, you could probably have like very little skill. You probably could get it with the right account and the right time. And I like time is so important. And I'm realizing now that like I'm trying to put 50 hours into this and it's not enough. I already know that. So
you can do it. There's still time.
All right. Well, I appreciate the pep talk. I'll just let my kids know Santa's not coming this year. And well, good guys. Appreciate that. Well, friends, how about this? Because you foregoed your goodbye, I'll let you go last. You can put your tagline in there. But Phyllis, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. To your fans out there, whether they're free to play or multiplayer, I'm sure they can find you on different Discord servers. But say goodbye to your friends.
But thanks for having me. I hope my speaking was somewhat understandable. I'm pretty much always online, so you can find me on Discord everywhere. Yeah, and it was a pleasure to be here, and yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, you're a brave man. Appreciate your willingness to jump on. It would have been really easy just to say, nah, it's not really, the right thing for me. But I'm so glad you joined. And I hope everyone can see that, this community is welcoming of all backgrounds, free to play, Germany, America, like it doesn't matter. We're all playing a fun game with cartoon go-kart players, and we're all just having fun in this community. GamerAmy, thanks for joining us. Why don't you say goodbye to your fans?
Bye. good luck. And like I said, anybody could be a top 10 player if they try, or top 100, or whatever you're going for. You can do it. You know,
Just do your job first. Best piece of advice you've heard here today. No, it is fake. Just to make sure you have time blocked off. But thank you, Amy. I appreciate you joining on and sharing all of your knowledge, or at least you probably forget more ACR knowledge in a day than we actually know. But to our other ACR former, I guess, future champion, Herooftheskies, why don't you say goodbye to your fans?
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure being here. You know, obviously, I will still continue to do a little bit of grinding. Again, main goal is to get 1.4, and no matter what happens, it will happen. If I get it, great. If not, it's all good. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Studfit, Sammy, Carlos, FrenzyFans,
and Kareem.
Kareem. Don't forget, of course. Yeah. Thank you, Kareem, for allowing me to come here. Thank you to all the let's see, Studfit, Sammy, and Carlos, FrenzyFans, like, for all your content. Keep up the good work. Yeah, happy holidays to you guys, and hopefully I made TRZ proud.
Some TRZ pride there. I like it. KnightRoso, this is the second time seeing you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm still shocked how young you are, because you act very mature. You have you're very eloquent. I love just the way that you present to your ideas, and it's been so fun having you as a superstar. But say goodbye to your fans now that they've gotten to know you a little bit better.
Okay. Thanks for having me. What else to say? I hope you all have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hopefully the new year is a great year for Mario Kart Tour.
2022 is going to be a great year. And then FrenzyFans, why don't you say goodbye to your fans, and then throw us your tagline at the end. But if you haven't already, definitely check out FrenzyFans' channel. Alex Young with his predictions and calculators and all this fun stuff, and even meet the Mario Karters. I'm excited to check out your video with Danny. I just saw that was posted today. I'm excited to check that out. But why don't you say goodbye to your fans as well?
Well, as always, thanks for having us, Studfit. Your channel is one of our favorites, and we love just being here with everybody else. So thanks for having us, and happy holidays for everyone. And
until the next video, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys. Take care.